Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, a customer-only webinar, Why Tailoring Your Outreach is Important. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Denise Tellem, and I am the Customer Training Specialist here at Intello, and I will be your host today. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining. And today we are going to be discussing why tailoring your outreach is important. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. If anybody has any questions today, please feel free to use the GoToWebinar bar on your right-hand side and let me know. We will also be sending out the recording later today, so you can always review the recording. Please feel free to reach out to me directly at danit@intello.com if you have any questions. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Perfect. So welcome everyone, and let's go ahead and dive in. So our webinar agenda today is why tailoring your outreach is important. And excuse me one moment here. I'm just going to double check. Perfect. So why tailoring your outreach is important. Want to see for yourself. And we have a fun activity there, and we are going to jump into some emails. Okay, so let's get started. So why tailoring your outreach is important. This is something at Intello that we really cannot specify or cannot mention enough how important it is. And here are some reasons why tailoring your outreach is important. So first of all, it proves that you're not a spammer. So that's always a great way to start. Shows that you're hand selecting your candidates. So that's a very important bullet that I wanted to talk about. Candidates really, the market is very saturated, it's very competitive, and you want to show the candidate when you reach out that you had hand selected them, that you really did your research, that you know their background and their skills. Even if it's something personal that you want to speak of, then that's works as well, just really anything, but that it really shows the candidate that you put in effort and that you really know who they are and did your research before reaching out. Of course, it builds rapport. The candidate is more likely to respond since it's not an email blast. If you tailor your outreach, then they know that it's actually only individually sent to them and it's not sent out as an email blast. So that's huge as well. It shows that you invested time in the candidate. So that again is hand selecting your candidates, that you really put in the time and effort, that you really care about them as an individual. And of course, leading into the last point is that you care about them as an individual and their unique background. So these are all very important topics. These are really proving that you put in your time, your effort, and that you do care about them and that you're not just blasting them, that they're not just another person on your list. So moving forward, want to see for yourself. So this is a fun activity that I actually did before the webinar. I reached out to everyone on my team at Intello and asked if they would be willing to share some emails that they received from recruiters. And surprisingly, everyone was very happy to share. I got a lot of responses. I got a lot of very great examples, really from both ends of the spectrum, good emails, bad emails, and everywhere in between. So let's try an activity. Prior to this webinar, I reached out to my organization to request the good, the bad, and the ugly recruiting emails. Why don't you try this yourself? Reach out to your organization and ask them to share some of the emails they have received from recruiters. I recommend asking if they think this was a good or bad email and what their reaction was. Reactions will vary across the board, and I will certainly show some examples. It really depends on the organization. It depends on the department, how they're going to react to your emails. So this is really a great way of doing research, what emails work and how to reach out to separate individuals. I was asked prior to the webinar to touch on different cultural backgrounds. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to aggregate this information or get enough information in time for the webinar today. That was a very interesting topic, and we will certainly start looking into this more and aggregating information when reaching out internationally. Today, I'm not going to touch on that too much just because, as I had mentioned, I didn't have the opportunity to pull up enough information. So moving forward, I certainly recommend trying this. It was a really fun experiment for me, and I really did learn a lot, and I'm happy to share what I found. So let's jump in here. So let's start off with bad emails. Okay, so let's start off with two forward. So, of course, I cut out all the names, all the companies. We're not trying to put anybody on blast here. Everybody's learning, and all these emails were internal, so a lot of them are to myself or to my colleagues. So, this one is too forward. So, my colleague Rachel sent over this email and says, "Hi, Rachel. I have an urgent need for a mobile 95 iOS interaction visual designer in the Bay Area. I can pay between 50 to 70 an hour and can get you an interview within 48 hours and have an offer within 1 week. My client is looking to move fast, and this is for a high profile Fortune 50 company." Okay, so the issue with this email is that they never gauged interest. They never reached out to Rachel as an individual, asked if she's looking to make a move, if she's interested in a new position. They never took the time to get to know her, to interact with her, or anything. They just sent her an email, and even if she is interested, there's no certainty that she's going to respond to this, and it's just a little too forward that they're saying they can get an interview within 48 hours and have an offer within 1 week. She might not be interested in that. That might not be a great selling point for her. So we really suggest actually getting to know the candidate before. Maybe she has other selling points. Maybe company culture is important to her. So maybe that would be a great selling point. So again, always get to know your candidates before sending out emails. This way, you can actually tailor it to them. If there's company culture, maybe you can send a link with a company culture video, for example. Okay, next, bad email. So vague and impersonal. So this one was to me, and they said, "I hope you're doing well. I have a 12-month contract position open in Silicon Valley and wanted to see if someone you know would be interested in talking about it." So first of all, I'm sorry, it says, wanted to see if you or someone you know would be interested in talking about it. This email is very vague. It's very impersonal. They did not take the time to get to know me or my background. They did not mention anything about anything that would be important to me or my background. Um, Please leave me your phone number and email address so we can connect this week. So it's very impersonal. It's very cold. This is not something I would personally respond to. I'm not quite sure what they're talking about. The subject line says job opportunity. To be honest, I don't think I had ever read this email before doing my research. So job opportunity is not the most engaging subject line. This email as a whole is just not engaging, and this is not something that I would personally respond to, nor anyone I know within my organization would not respond to something like this. Okay, so the next one is no personalization and bulk email. So again, no personalization. Hi, there's no name. I think this was to someone within my organization as well. They didn't even specify who it was to. I'm working on a search for a front end developer in San Francisco, Sunnyvale. Duration, pay rate, work authorization. So they really just start rattling off the job description. Um, Again, no personalization. And something funny about this email that unfortunately I couldn't include since I excluded all names and organizations. This was actually a bulk email, and everyone was copied on this email chain. So when this email was forwarded to me from my colleague, it actually said everyone's names that this email was sent to. So that does not look good. That definitely shows that it was a bulk email, and we see everybody else's email, so we know who else they are looking to recruit. So it's just uncomfortable as a whole. We should not see that information. I would at least say, please include my name in the email. Hi, Denise. That's a bare minimum, and just rattling off the job description. Then if I was looking for a job, I could find this job description on my own. So there's really no effort put in here. Okay, again, no personalization. So this one was again to me. I found your profile on LinkedIn. Please reply to this email if you're interested in discussing the following job opening, and rattling off job experience or skills and experience. So once again, the job description. This to me is not a recruiting email. If I was looking, I would be able to find this information on my own. So it's essentially just somebody sending me a job rec. Okay, so email etiquette. Let's get to the good stuff. Okay, so getting warmer. Excuse me. So here is actually a funny email. So humor is always a great thing. I'll give you a moment to read this. This is a little bit longer, but this email I thought was hilarious. So go ahead and take a moment to read this. So yeah, this is a very funny email. It was engaging. This was actually sent to one of our engineers, and it's a good sign to me that when I ask for anyone to send me emails, that one of our engineers actually referenced this email and she remembered it. So that's already amazing that she remembered this email. She thought it was funny. She thought it was worth looking at, and she sent it my way. So, you know what? Even if they don't respond or if you can't recruit them, then this is a really good place to be in, that they read your email, that they remember your email, because maybe one day when they're looking, they'll say, hey, I remember that funny email back in the day. Maybe I should reach out to that person. Okay, so cheesy. We support being cheesy. Why not? So, this is one of my colleagues. She's on our customer success team, and the subject was miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And she's a soccer player, so that was relevant. And if you read the email a little bit further, and I apologize if there's any secret information in here about the company. I hope not. I hope I took all of that out. But okay, so figured you'd like that header as a soccer player. So that's already great. I mean, that's personalizing the email. She played soccer, which she absolutely loves, and she touched on it. This means she did her research. If you look down a little bit further, it said, I came across you on a video I watched on Intello's product a while ago and noticed that you were three things: talented, Armenian, a team sport athlete. So she really, really did her research. She sent out this email. She knew what my colleague was interested in. She knew what she was looking for. So she really did her research. And this is a really, really incredible email. She took the time to get to know her. So cheesy is always great. And it's kind of funny. It definitely is a little cheesy. Miss 100% of the shots you don't take. But you know what? It worked. And if they reference back to these emails, then that's really an incredible place to be. Okay, next, so personal details. So it doesn't have to be my soccer background. It doesn't have to be too much research done. So this person, for example, reached out. They're a recruiting coordinator. I came across your LinkedIn profile and was impressed by your background, particularly your work experience at Rocket Fuel and Zynga. So they didn't do too much research about me personally. They did research my background, my work experience. So that's wonderful. They actually took the time to look me up and to personalize this email. And even if they didn't dive in too deep, they did look a little bit. So this email has been personalized. It's not a bulk email. It has to do with my background. They said they were impressed by my background, which that's a nice thing to hear. Everybody wants a little bit of, or what's a little bit of flattery. So you can't go wrong with that. Okay, so it looks like that is all I have today. I hope these emails helped a little bit. We are very, very big into tailoring your outreach always. If you'd like any more suggestions, please feel free to reach out to myself or your customer success manager. We're always happy to help. You can send over any email templates you have. We're happy to look over them. And I mean, really, there's such a variation of what you can do with these emails. Make them fun, tailor them to your organization, to you as a recruiter. You can really just do so much. We just never recommend sending out these blast bulk emails. It's I don't read them. I know that some are offended by those emails because some recruiters don't just unfortunately don't take the time to get to know the candidates, and we always recommend doing so. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. You can go ahead and ping me right now. I'm going to stay on the line a little bit longer to answer any questions. And again, my email is up on the screen, so feel free to email me directly or your customer success manager. And we will be sending out this recording as well. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I hope this helped, and have a wonderful day. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions coming in, so I'm going to go ahead and end the webinar for today. Thank you again for joining, and please feel free to reach out with any questions. Have a wonderful day.